I need to rant about something that's been bothering me, okay? Dating apps aren't just failing us, they're ruining everybody's mental health and nobody's talking about it, okay? Hey guys, if you're new to this channel, my name's Simon. Welcome. I talk about dating, I talk about life, I talk about motivation, I talk about money, I talk about a lot of things. So follow for the journey. But I didn't want to talk about dating apps today, and specifically how it's ruining people's lives and how it hurts people. Now, let me give my own personal story about a dating app experience, okay? This one time, I matched with this one girl on Tinder. There's only like Hinge, Tinder, Bumble. Anyway, so I matched with her on Tinder, and she seemed like a cool girl. She was attractive, obviously, and I got her number. And basically, we were talking for like a couple days, a couple of nights in a row, like FaceTiming, all that stuff. And the reason why it didn't work out was because um, hold on. Okay, the reason why it didn't go, like, we never even got to hang out, and the reason why was not because, like, I would even say, like, we had bad vibes. I don't know, it wasn't perfect, but it wasn't, like, anything weird or awkward. But anyway, so whenever I was FaceTiming her, um, at first I was trying to get to know her, trying to see if it was even worth, because she lives pretty far from me, too. She lives like a 40-minute drive. So I was trying to like just feel out the conversation, see if it would be like awkward or it'd be cool, whatever. So then, I was talking to her and I asked her to hang out, So I was like, hey, I'm not doing anything this day, da 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 da. I'm thinking about driving up there, what are you doing? And then she was just like, oh, this was the red flag number one. She was just like, oh, it's my birthday weekend, I'm not trying to have anybody over, yada yada yada, but maybe the weekend after. And I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, like obviously birthdays, I mean, it's a special time. Everybody wants to spend it, some people, but like I don't know, I felt like the whole weekend. But anyway, so I was like, whatever, I pushed it back, and then I asked her the week after. It's like, hey, so you know, uh, I'm not doing anything again, like let me know. I'm trying to hang out with you, because at this point I'm not really trying to just be her friend. I'm not trying to like. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being her friend, but I was really trying to get to know her. And then she's just like, can I tell you something? Can I be honest? And I was like, yeah, of course. Tell me what's up. And I'm being dead ass. This is the word she used. She was just like, yeah. So basically, the dude I'm fucking right now is basically talking to other chicks. So I'm talking to other guys right now to make him jealous because I kind of like him, but we're not anything serious right now. And then she says this to me on the FaceTime, and I'm just like, oh shit. Like, basically, I am some type of like friend zone, weird in between, I don't know, like male attention for this girl. And I thought, meanwhile, I'm trying to get to know her. She's just really just like, I'm some like backup side dude, just so whenever the dude that she's, done hooking up with can just, come smash. So then I'm just like, wow, like that freaking like kind of like sucks, like ruins your confidence a bit. Like you think, this girl likes you or whatever, and then you just find out that you're just like not even like her option, but like her backup option because she had no intention of ever hanging out with me. She was just like basically bored. And whenever she was bored, she would call me. And then when she told me that, I respected the honesty at the end of the day because I'd rather be told the truth than being lied and led on, making me think that I have a chance. I mean, I would have figured it out anyway, but like, I think I respected that type of honesty because, as soon as she told me that, I was like, wow, okay. And I never reached out again. Like, she was doing a lot more. After that, I just, drew back. And she was doing a lot more reaching out to me. She started texting me more. She started calling me more. But she never wanted to hang out. That thing never changed. So that guess the guy was still around. But she did start doing the other two things when I stopped talking to her, which is kind of funny. But, so that just goes back to the dating app thing. Because we go back into this addiction cycle, right? Everybody wants to swipe, match right, and then ghost, repeat. Everybody's got this whole story about like how dating apps should work. No one's like really going on a dating app to just stick there and find their true person. I mean, when there's so many endless options of attractive people, why would you? It's so easy to just stay in that cycle of just like swipe right, match. If you don't even get any matches, you just freaking just, I don't know, you wait for your match and then they still get ghosted, that's the hard part. And then another big problem about dating apps is that there's so many AI, so many freaking fake profiles, and it just ruins the authenticity or I don't know, like the credibility of these apps. Like, there's so, especially like as a guy, I don't think girls really face this problem, but like there's so many like AI bot girls or like, you know, fake profiles where like you think you're talking to someone and like you're really just talking to another guy who just wants to make your money, which is so scummy. I mean, if you're one of those guys, I mean, it's just so sad that like, you know, people really can do that. Like the morality of people is just so low nowadays. It's just like we really have other guys pretending to be a girl just so you can scam another dude who's like, you know, in a really tight or sad, vulnerable part of his life. He's really looking for connection, and then you're preying on that connection so you can make 250 bucks or 500 bucks. It's like, wow, so scummy. But anyway, the next part of the problem of dating apps is the comparison trap, right? So we see so many profiles on there, right? Not even just like, you know, girls or the opposite gender, but just like, you know, like, you know, the same gender too, right? You might have friends who are on these dating apps and you see them getting a lot of matches and you're like, holy shit, they're super hot or whatever. You start feeling self-conscious because you're like, I don't get that many matches, or like I don't get that success rate. I don't get those type of quality people. But everybody's in their own race, you know. So you have to realize that like it's like, you know, you got to be happy for people. You really can't compare yourself to others. I know it's so easy to say, but like realistically you can't, because like you're never going to be happy. There's always going to be someone taller, more attractive, more money than you. So like you only can focus on what you can control and then be happy for others, because when you can be a happiest for others, you're going to be genuinely happy for yourself, because you don't feel envious of others, you know. You won't be like, oh, I wish I had that, because you're truly appreciative of what you have, right? And then but another problem with dating apps is the connection issue, right? So because dating apps at this stage in society has been like common, you know, I saw something where like, you know, Gen Z guys, I think it was like 20% or less have never asked a girl out in person. And like, quick side story about that, like when I saw that stat, I was like, holy shit, like I need to go ask out a girl. And like, you know, I did do that. And it was funny because I did ask out a girl in person and I still got rejected, which is crazy. If you guys want a story time about like all the times I've been rejected, I will do a story about that. But I want to stay on topic. So it's hard to build a connection nowadays in the real world, because so many people have the dating apps. Like, especially if you meet someone off a dating app, it's so hard, I feel like, to meet a connection, because so many people say they want a connection. So many people do say they want a connection. But how can you say you want a connection when, like, okay, let's say you go on a date with someone. Like, don't you feel like you should delete the dating app until you're ready to like go meet someone else? Because to me, I feel like it's disingenuous to go on a date with someone and you're still on a dating app talking to like guy or girl. You're still talking to other people. You're still talking to other matches. I feel like that's disingenuous. You're not really looking for anybody. If you go on a date with me and you have two other people that you know, are waiting for your response, or like still like text messages, whatever, it's just like the whole roster thing, right? That's just so disingenuous, and it's really hard to find a connection because everybody wants to have a roster. Everybody wants to have 5 or 6 people on their roster, so that way they don't feel lonely. That way it's just like, oh, I don't have to worry about, you know, being lonely because I have this girl or this girl I'm still talking to, and this girl. And a lot of things too about having a roster is that like it's not actually people that you hang out with, it's just people that you talk to. So you have a bunch of people who you think that like are your option, but realistically they're not your option, right? Because everybody values each other's differently, right? Like if, okay, let's say I have this girl, right? She's number 4 on my roster, but I might be the number 2 guy on her roster, right? So it's just like the value is not the same. So it's just like we have a misplacement in value where like people think they're higher up in the roster or attractiveness than they really are. So then people are just holding out because they're like, oh, I'm the backup, and then I might be moved up to number 1, but meanwhile the guy's thinking like you're actually number 7, and I'm waiting for this girl to move up to number 1, and it's like this whole conundrum. So yeah, the real connection issue, it's like nobody wants. It's not that nobody wants a real connection, but it's because of dating apps. It's just like, you know, as soon as I find something wrong, I'm just gonna go back on the dating app and keep swiping right until I meet another guy, you know? So it's like the connection part's hard. How can you have a connection with someone when you're not putting your heart truly out there, when you're only like, you know, you're one tippy toe step in, you're not 100% in, you need a fucking like, what do you call it, cannonball, you need to belly flop in, you know? And that's risky, that's scary. It's kind of like that last video I have seen. If you haven't watched that last video I posted, why the problem with, you know, dating, you know, here's a link to it right now, but go watch it. But like, yeah, I was talking about that last, where people are scared to have connections because, you know, it's really hard to put your heart out there, and I get it. But at the same time, you know, this is the reason why so many people are so single, is because so many people are so afraid to like put themselves out there. They want to just, you know, it's like someone that like wants to do a quick get rich quick scheme. They just want to do half the work and get 10 times the results. It's like, that's not how real life works, right? Especially with love. You can't like half-ass your relationship, or like half-ass trying to pursue someone and then expect that person to fully be in love with you, or just expect a genuine love relationship out of that. Because if you're half-assing it the whole time, you're never gonna truly appreciate what that person has to offer for you. You know, you're never really gonna truly appreciate what that person does for you. You know, even the an attempt of courting someone attempting to court you, that's very like, I don't know what the word for it is, so I sound stupid, but like, that's like, you should show them respect automatically, even if you don't find them attractive, because nobody, you know, owes you that. Nobody's guaranteed to do that to you. So if someone does, you know, attempt to show that, hey, I do like you, you should always show respect, whether you like them or not, because, you know, that really does mean something a lot, especially someone that's being genuine about it, not just trying to get access to your body, but trying to get access to your mind, body, and soul, all three, not just one. You know, if someone's truly doing that, you should generally, you know, just respect their time, respect their peace, respect their energy, and like, you know, just be genuine with them. I'm not saying cut off your roster when a real person shows up, but just be like genuine, be like, hey, I do like you, like, you know, where do you see this going? Or being like, I don't know, like, I do want to take things slow right now. I am talking to other people, but like, I do like you. Like, if I'm being real, I do like you like the most. Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to be more real, be more upfront with each other. You know what I'm saying? So that way, we can have less problems of relationships, and more people can actually, like, I don't know, be open to each other, and we won't have a dating crisis maybe, or a dating app crisis. But anyway, solutions. What are the solutions to the dating app crisis? Okay, so, you know, obviously I could say the easy answer is like, oh, delete the dating app. But honestly, I don't think that's really going to change much, because like what I said earlier, most guys aren't even asking out girls in person. So it's like, it's so easier for, as a guy, to, like, you know, sit behind a dating app or on FaceTime and be like, hey, you want to go out? Versus like me going up to you, random attractive girl, and be like, you know, hey, can I get your number? Then asking her, or just asking a random pretty girl out. I mean, honestly, like, if you're a girl watching this, let me know. Would you appreciate, like, if a random guy who you think is attractive just asked you out? Would you really genuinely be like, yes? I feel like girls would be like, I want to get to know you a little bit because you're a stranger, and like, I don't know you, you might kill me. Like, I feel like the girl would want to get to know you a little bit. So let me know, if you're a girl, if like that's something, like, you would actually like go on a date with a random stranger that you just met, like he cold approach you like at the mall or at the grocery store. Is that something you'd be into? But anyway, what are some solutions? I think some solutions is just, you know, we gotta practice being more vulnerable, you know? So whether that's, you know, being open up to you gotta find someone who you trust, and just like communicate how you feel. And I think not enough people do that. I don't think people really talk to other people about how they truly feel. I think a lot of people bottle that up. So, you know, I think that's something that you should practice. If that's something that's like, you know, you're having issues with what I've talked about, is try to find someone, at least one person, where you feel comfortable talking to them about your problems, whatever you're going through. So that way, when someone who does truly appreciate you or trying to get to know you, and like you're struggling to get to open up to them, and then you run away to the next person because you're like, oh, whatever, this is difficult, I'm just gonna go over here. You know, you need to practice that skill of opening up to people, so that way when someone that does appreciate you, they're not like, you can feel comfortable opening up to someone that like you truly don't know about them. And that way, like, that person will automatically build trust with you, and you guys will have a just more better bond, versus just like you guys are just too off guard, and you guys are like, oh, I don't want to say anything, I don't want to say anything, and then you guys are in like this like weird like emotional standoff where like nobody's showing their feelings, but then you both like each other, and then it's just going to create a lot of confusion, you know? So yeah, just, you need to practice more vulnerability, more emotional availability to like friends, families, whoever you feel trusted to. And if you don't know anybody, you know, contact me, DM me on Instagram. You know, my DMs are open, all that stuff, Snapchat, all that stuff. You know, follow me. I have coaching calls, all that stuff. So let me know if that's something that you are having a struggle with. But yeah, that is my rant session for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate every single person that commented in the last video. I respond to all the comments. So, you know, comment something that, you know, you learned, or something that really resonated with you, or just like, if you're new to the channel, comment something that you would like to see me talk about. You know, I might make a video about it, because, you know, I like, you know, talking about stuff, helping people out, and spreading my opinions on stuff. So, you know, thank you again for another rant video by Simon Quay. Have a good one. Peace.